Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRIENDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now. Let's dive into what might be one of the most talked about potential trades in the NFL right now. The possibility of the San Francisco 49ers shipping out their star pass rusher, Nick Bosa, to the Washington Commanders. I know it sounds wild, but the rumors are heating up, and the implications for the NFC East, and especially for Washington, could be game-changing. The buzz started with some credible sources suggesting that the 49ers, sitting at a 5-4 record and facing some serious injury issues along their defensive line, might be open to trading their all-pro edge rusher, Nick Bosa, in exchange for some valuable draft capital. And folks, this isn't just idle speculation. The 49ers are reportedly looking at a deal involving a first-round pick in the 2026 draft, along with a 6th-round pick in 2027, which would give them the ammunition to rebuild their roster, particularly on the offensive line, which has been a weak spot this season. The 49ers are in a bit of a rebuild mode already, and with a cap space of around $5 million, they're trying to balance retooling while staying competitive. The team has suffered from a string of injuries, especially along their defensive front, allowing a staggering 36 sacks so far this season. That's a huge number and a clear indicator that something needs to change, either through internal improvement or some bold moves in the trade market. Plus, they've been dealing with some cap constraints, which makes moving Bosa, one of their most valuable assets, a strategic decision for the future. From the Washington side, this move could be a real shot in the arm. The Commanders, who are currently looking to strengthen their defensive front, could see Bosa as the missing piece to turn their pass rush into one of the most feared in the league. Adding Bosa would bring an immediate boost of pressure on opposing quarterbacks, which is exactly what Washington needs to turn their defense from decent to dominant. With projections indicating that the Commanders could add around 14 more sacks this season if they land Bosa, the impact could be enormous. Think about it, plus 14 sacks, plus 22% in quarterback pressures and a much more aggressive creative blitzing scheme. That's a recipe for chaos for any offense. Looking at Bosa's stats, he's a true star in the league. At just 28 years old, he's already proved himself as one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. In 2025, he's recorded 32 pressures, ranking 15th among edge rushers, and has maintained a solid 78. 6 PFF grade. His career PFF grade overall sits at an impressive 90. 2, placing him among the top players at his position since 2019. In 2022 alone, he amassed 112 pressures, and his sack total this year stands at 6.5. His win rate percentage is around 14. 2%, which might seem modest, but when you see how often he impacts plays, it's clear he's a disruptive force. His knee injury in Week 5 did slow him down a bit, but he's expected to bounce back strongly. Now the 49ers are known for being cautious with cap space, especially with players like Brandon Ayuk, whose contract negotiations are still ongoing. They need to make smart moves to stay competitive, and acquiring draft picks for future rebuilds, similar to what the Rams did in 2023, makes sense in this context. The San Francisco front office is probably looking at the long game, and trading Bosa could free up some cap space and draft capital to bolster their offensive line, which has been an Achilles heel this season. On the other hand, the Commanders are definitely looking to capitalize on this opportunity. Their front seven has been solid but not quite elite, and adding Bosa could be the piece to push them over the top. The defense would become more dynamic, more unpredictable, and better equipped to create turnovers. Plus, this move would send a message to the entire NFC East that Washington is serious about competing at the highest level and making a push for the playoffs and beyond. The NFC East is already shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions, but this potential trade could tilt the balance even more in Washington's favor. If they manage to land Bosa, it would significantly improve their chances of turning their season around and making a deep playoff run. The team has been showing flashes of brilliance, especially on defense, but consistency has been elusive. A player like Bosa could bring that consistency and elevate everyone around him. Of course, All of this hinges on whether the 49ers are truly willing to part ways with one of their franchise players. The vibe from some insiders like ESPN's Adam Schefter suggests that the Niners are open to selling, especially as they look to bolster their offensive line and maintain their competitiveness in the long term. Rumors also mention that the 49ers might be looking to shed some salary and gain draft capital to give themselves more flexibility heading into the second half of the season. From the perspective of the Washington fanbase, this is an exciting prospect, but also one that comes with a lot of questions. How much will it cost? Will Bosa be interested in a new environment? And most importantly, how quickly can he fit into Washington's defensive scheme? These are all open questions, but the potential upside is huge. Adding a player of Bosa's caliber could instantly transform the Commanders' defense, making them one of the most feared units in the league. Looking ahead, it's not just about this season. The Commanders are building something special, and acquiring a superstar like Bosa could be a cornerstone for years to come. His presence on that defensive line would not only boost the team's performance immediately, but also send a message to the rest of the NFC that Washington is here to compete and win. The division is getting tougher, with teams like the Eagles and Cowboys always in the mix. But a move like this could give the Commanders the edge they need to finally take that next step and contend seriously for a Super Bowl. Now, let's keep in mind that this is all speculation for now. The NFL trade deadline is approaching, and anything can happen in these last few days before it passes. The teams are feeling out the market, and if the right offer comes along, the deal could be done. Fans should stay tuned because if this trade goes through, it would shake up the entire landscape of the NFC East and send shockwaves throughout the league. And let's not forget, the Commanders have been making moves this season, trying to find their identity on offense and get more pressure on opposing quarterbacks. They've got a young, talented roster, and adding a veteran superstar like Bosa would be the perfect way to accelerate their rebuild, show the league they mean business, and set themselves up for sustained success. So what do you think, Commanders fans? Would you be excited if your team pulled off this blockbuster trade? How do you see Bosa fitting into the team's scheme? Would he be the piece to finally unlock the true potential of this defense? Drop your thoughts below because this is the kind of move that can shape the future of the franchise. And remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Washington Commanders news. We're in this together and the best is yet to come. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news.